Well, okay, we'll do it now.
Mhm.
Uh, Are we looking at the voice level? I was going to put it back to the very beginning, but this ought to
I think that's
tell me
sufficient.
whether it's enough.
Before we go back, this is Barbara Lee Diamondstein talking with Phyllis Cerf Wagner. And before we go back to you're moving into your first house at 132 East 62nd Street, I noticed there is an Oscar, and it looks like an old Oscar at that, sitting in your study. Can you tell us something about what role you got that for?
Well, I got that. Incidentally, the Oscar, which is given out in California for best actresses and directors, to commend performances in all fields of movies, is a copyrighted statute. You may not copy it. You may not have what I have, which is a copy of an Oscar. How it came about, there was a very talented director, writer, named Joseph Mankiewicz. And Bennett, my husband Bennett Cerf, loved to go out and lecture. He would do it for nothing, he often said, but was thrilled that he was highly paid to perform. And he would book these lecture tours really a year in advance to work it into his very busy schedule. And one year he'd booked his lecture tour without paying any attention to the fact that he was going to be out of town for a week, and during that week was going to be my birthday, and I was outraged, really outraged at this lack of thought for my particular day. And the Oscars were being had shown on an April day, as they always are, which happened to fall on my birthday. So Joe Mankiewicz went to Mark Goodson and Bill Todman, who produced What's My Line, which Bennett appeared on, and asked them if they could possibly get an Oscar made for me so that he could present it to me during all of the presentations as we watched the Oscars being given away without the presence of Bennett. And that is how I got my first and only Oscar, because they did copy it, though they were scared spitless about doing it because it was a copyrighted item. Now, you will note it is made of wood, carved, and it is painted gold. And Joe has put a little bow tie around it, I guess, a black tie, and otherwise it's as nude as it always is.
And what category did you win?
Best wife.
Oh.
Wasn't that gorgeous? That was just gorgeous. I think, let me see what it says on it. It's called the First Award for Involuntary Achievement. Phyllis Cerf, April 13, 1964. Well done, thou good and faithful serfant, Cerfant. And that's what my Oscar says.